You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, indeed you are, and welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast. I'm here with Sat Veer tonight. OKC takes down the Portland Trail Blazers 123-115 in an absolute just disgusting watch tonight. Disgusting watch. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but before we get to that, let's go over some stats, Sat Veer. Shea goes for 26, 4, and 5 in 36 minutes. J-Dub, good game. Good game in the second game back. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. Shooting still not there yet, but it's going to come along. His defense is just amazing to start off his year. Chet goes for 19 and 9, so Sapphire here, he does cover the 18 and a half. Lou Dort, 10.6 rebounds. AJ Mitchell, 17, 5, and 5 off the bench. Isaiah Joe, 15 points, 3 threes off the bench. And Aaron Wiggins comes in with 5 points, 4 assists in his first game back. Xavier, that might have been one of the most disgusting officiated games I've ever watched in my entire life. The Trailblazers won the free throw battle 37-32, and that's with OKC taking 8 free throws to the end of the game as they were getting intentionally fouled. Denny Advia went 6 of 14. It was really worse than that, but he had a couple of easy ones at the end of the game. He shot 23 free throws. I must have counted 10 in the fourth quarter alone. He got to the line with 5 seconds left in the game, and we were up by 10 points. Absolutely disgusting officiating tonight. Oh my goodness. But yet, OKC takes the win by 8 without Hartenstein and without Alex Caruso. But Jesus, Sapphire, was I pissed watching that shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't really noticing it as much as you did, or minded it as much as you did, with kind of how the game was flowing. Like, I would expect the other team's star to get a bunch of free throws against us because we usually don't get respected by the referees. It's been a constant thing, so I don't know if it's just being a small market or what the case is. Whatever it may be, I can't honestly wrap my head around it because, you know, anytime someone comes into town, whether it's Luka, AD, LeBron, Austin Reeves, notice I named a lot of Lakers there, but even outside of that, like Anthony Edwards or whoever
Danny
comes
Advia.
in. I know, man. I know, but I've seen other, first level stars come into the building and have like 15 plus free throws against us. So even dating back to last year. So just thinking about it in that terms, like I'm never surprised that another team had more free throws than us as a team. And I'm especially not surprised when the other team's star has more free throws than Shea. He gets a lot of, bad rap for the amount of free throws that he gets, but I guess people just don't look at the other side of the board when they're, looking at the stats. They only really focus in on Shea. But yeah, you're right. Disgusting stat line there. But I want to kind of move past that and highlight what was really important here. SGA had 16 points with 4 minutes to go. And this man went 4 or 5 shooting in the final 4 minutes to ice the game with 8 extra points. I mean, you can honestly, like, I saw a tweet which was like, he could be like 0 for 30 and still end with 25 plus points on 50% shooting. Like, I thought back to that tweet and I was like, oh, this is a ridiculous tweet. And then I see it happen right in front of me. And I'm like, what the actual heck, dude? Like, this guy just turns it on every time the game is on the line. He just knows how to ice games out. And it's kind of crazy that this is what they want Luka Doncic to be. But this guy is literally the truth when it comes to the, clutch minutes. Like, he's leading the league by like over 20 points compared to the minutes that he's played. And he's barely played enough fourth quarters as it is. A little over less than half of his fourth quarters that he's played in. I just think it's just crazy to wrap my head around how good he is in the final 4 minutes when he wants to pretty much do whatever he wants to this league. People telling me like he can't get 60, 70 points, you're out of your mind after seeing him. I don't really think he needs the free throws, to be honest. He's just entered a different zone, a different level. He understands the game even more so than he has in the past. And I think, past the Denny Avdia thing, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tonight was especially special for us. And I had to make sure that, I highlighted that. He also scored 2 more points on intentional fouls. So he technically scored 10 points on 4 or 5 shooting in the final 4 minutes. But man, I was expecting him to sit the fourth quarter, but he practically played every part of it and hit every clutch shot that you could pretty much imagine. And now the Thunder, for OKC fans, that's a pair of great news after seeing that whistle that Avdia got. We do not have to play Portland again for the rest of the season. No more unexpected losses. No more wondering, us against them. Now we can just zoom through the league and go 81-1, right, Joe?
Absolutely. 81-1 sounds about right, Xavier. It doesn't matter who's on the court. Played without J-Dub, played without Chet, played without Hartenstein, played without the whole bench, and they're 20-1. It should be 21-0, but we'll move past that. But 20-1, man, it's just hard to believe that OKC has been this good throughout the season. They find any way to win. That's my favorite part, is they don't even have to be playing great to find ways to win games. I think tonight was one of those nights. We turned the ball over a lot. Weren't shooting pretty well in through the first 3 quarters, honestly. But obviously you mentioned Shai comes in, close it out. AJ Mitchell was fantastic tonight. I think he looks as confident as ever. And Aaron Wiggins came in the fourth quarter and had some really great assists and just was an absolute playmaker in that fourth quarter, which is nice to see. He comes in. OKC is just, the offense just flows so much easier when he's in the ball game. So I'm very happy to have Aaron Wiggins back. Let's get to some of these comments here. Mike goes, I like it better when Shai sits the fourth. Yeah, I agree. But it's always fun to be in these games. Mark Espinoza was beginning to think they were our kryptonite. And Mike also believes that AJ needs more minutes. I'm starting to agree with Mike. We talked about this the other night. I think both of us agreed that he would take a back seat just because, he's young, still time to improve. But the only thing I'm seeing from this kid is inconsistent 3-point shooting. But outside of that, which is everyone on our team, by the way. But outside of that, I'm most confident in AJ Mitchell with the ball in his hands outside of a lot of guys. Like, I think AJ and Wiggins have made their mark with the ball in their hands off the bench. And they stand out. But again, it's also hard when you have such a good team. Man, my brain, fellas, everyone in the chat, tell me if I'm wrong here. I am pissed off. That cannot happen again. 23 in regulation is insane for a guy who's playing the defending champions. We're not nobodies. 23 free throws, bro. It was unbelievable, Satvir. And, it's bothered me. Let me get to this comment here by Joseph. I think it's a good comment. He said, just wondering about your thoughts. It looks to me like Chet is struggling a little on defense. I absolutely agree here. I don't think he's been the same presence in the paint to start the year. He's one step away from a block on like every contest, but he's a step away and they're scoring. Sapir, I want to hear your thoughts on that as well, because I agree with Joe on this comment here so far this season. I think he's been a little not as dominant as he has been.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it to start the season where we noticed it very early on. Where it was like, is he a little bit more focused on offense? Is the offense taking a little bit more energy out of him? Trying to figure out where the defense was going with Chet. And I guess my opinion on it is, yeah, I guess you could say he's a little step slow when it comes to the decision making. I think he's got a tougher role with Hartenstein now. It's a lot easier when you're just the help guy, and he excels in that role a little bit more, help side defense. But when he's just the primary center, it is very exhausting for anyone that does not know how hard it is playing 48 minutes of defense or 32 minutes of defense consistently as a center, and having to shot block and always go up and down. When it comes to verticality, it takes a lot out of you from an energy standpoint. So the later the game goes, you can say that you'll see a little bit more of a drop off without Hartenstein. And that's the benefit of having Hartenstein in, amongst the many other benefits, such as, the rebounding plus that he brings in, the pick and roll, the assists and everything else, the 2-man game with Chet that Hartenstein brings. It's being missed plenty, but I think something that people aren't thinking about is that factor as well, where Hartenstein's the main contest guy and then Chet can come behind and go for the shot blocks. Whereas if Chet's the main guy going for the shot blocks every single time, I can tell you that firsthand, having played basketball, that is super exhausting unless you're really pacing yourself. And Chet's not a type of guy that honestly paces himself when it comes to defense or on the defensive end. He's just going as hard as he possibly can. So I definitely don't blame him for having that happen. And one thing I guess I am looking towards is we need to start playing more J-Will minutes, having some extra big man minutes. And this is where Sorber's being duly missed. That depth at that front court spot, we missed it last season as well. I think J-Dub at the 4 would be pretty smart moving forward, just to provide that extra help, because J-Dub can get pretty vertical as well. So it's not just Chet every single time contesting at the rim. I think that's what makes it tough on him. So, I mean, yeah, Joseph has a point, but he's still the top 2 ranked, advanced statistics wise and just eye test wise. He's right there with Wemby when it comes to shot blocking, rim contest, and everything like that. But I think moving forward, once Hartenstein back, he'll look a lot better. But right now it is what it is kind of situation. You got to run with who you've got, and I honestly can't blame him in this scenario. But he's trying his best out there. I mean, he's always putting in 100%, and that's all you can really ask of your center, especially as young as he is, to understand how to put 100% in. So
yeah, I also want to mention 3 blocks tonight. He's still getting his blocks. It's just
he could have a lot more.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's just a step slow to them right now. Somebody just brought up a question. Mike, I'm going to answer this really quick for you. Episode 27 was released last week. That's either our first or second segment in the episode. Go check that out on our channel. It's definitely possible, and it's more likely than not, by the way. Let's go back to the game tonight, though. Can we highlight AJ Mitchell tonight? Shai got his 26. It wasn't a good game from Shai tonight at all. He started off pretty terrible, couldn't make a shot, pretty out of control. Obviously ends up going 50%, but that's what he does. AJ Mitchell comes in and kind of just stays steady throughout the game. 17 points, over 50% from the field, 6 of 6 from the line. Great defense. Sapir, he's got to stay in the lineup because he's one of our better players. He really is.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen that he is. I just didn't know if Mark was going to roll with him tonight when we were doing our prediction. That's why I was hedging my bets between him and Aaron Wiggins. And I think that's still smart until we get to All-Star break. That's when we'll really see, what our 9-man roster is looking like. And even then, I think Mark's going to continue to play around with the roster. So it's always tough on a nightly basis to actually predict from a bench standpoint who's going to get the minutes. But I know who Mark counts on is his starters. So that's who I usually rely on. I think we got everything else right in the preview when it came to, who's going to score, how many points, whatever else. And, I'm happy that AJ got his 28 tonight. It's just, how it is with Mark. We've seen this with Aaron Wiggins.
Right. It's going to be different every night.
Yeah, it's just not a consistent dose. And that's what I think fans are probably a little upset about. And I think rightfully so when you see a talented guy like AJ, especially on the team-friendly contract that he's on. We'd love to get more usage out of him, but we just have too many guards. I mean, even before AJ rose up on the ranks, we already had too many guards. We were already asking for more Aaron Wiggins minutes, and having him in, it's like where are we going to get this guard distribution, especially with Isaiah Joe shooting a lot better this season. It's just like you have to put him out kind of a little bit better, and especially Shai commanding so many minutes in the fourth quarter. Like if he's already played a lot, you're not taking Shai off the court, you're not really taking J-Dub off the court. And then when you have 2 big men already in the game, it's just so tough to find minutes. AJ definitely deserves them. On any other team, he could be a starting level point guard for most, I think, 15 teams. I think for every other team, he'd be like a secondary ball handler for most of them. He's just that good, and he's that young, and he's a second rounder. But also, on the Thunder, every player looks a lot better. So I'm happy about that as well.
Yeah.
They look a lot better than they would maybe on some teams that are just a little less than a contender. So I guess I'm happy with the minutes. I mean, that's from Mark's standpoint, it's really tough, like who to play from the guards on the bench. He definitely does it right. And something Jack mentioned in the previous episode that I think he's, being more right about than wrong is AJ definitely deserves those closing minutes. I think that's something that Mark needs to figure out and get him into the closing lineups a little bit more, just because of how dynamic he is from a scoring aspect. He doesn't really let up on the defensive end either. He's not giving up that much. He's top 10 in defensive rating, if not top 5 at least before. So I haven't checked on the advanced stats on that, but he doesn't have too much of a drop off, and he has all the offensive skill sets that you could ask for. So definitely deserves those closing minutes. And that's surprising to say for a guy as young as him. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Before we continue with that, I want to get into the comments. I'm not going to bring them up, but fellas, I'm not joking. Go check out episode 27, our past episode. They're looking to keep both of them, and it's an actual report. It's not nonsense. We're most likely going to keep.
We reported on this before the official
the comments
report.
are going crazy that we're not going to be able to. We're more likely than not going to have both of them back next year. So go check out that episode.
We did a summer episode as well on this, that they could keep both. It's just going to take a lot of luxury tax and money, and that's not our problem, right? That's the billionaire's problem. He'll write the checks, and we got a pretty rich owner, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But kind of getting back to the game, as far as some nice little stats here for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's entering a new realm of catching up to Wilt. We're no longer chasing the MJs of the world. He's always in the MJ stats, but this is a good one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has passed Wilt Chamberlain for number 2 longest scoring 20-plus point streak in NBA history with 93 games now. Wilt is at 126 games. He should be able to do this in this season as long as the streak doesn't get broken up or some random injury happens or anything else like that. It should be very easy to catch. But Joe, being number 2 compared to Wilt, who owns that record, I mean, come on, man.
I mean, it's literally historic. Unbelievable. You would think, watching OKC when we were growing up, you would think that KD had these records just because that's Kevin Durant. He was the best scorer. They call him one of the best scorers ever. And he's not even close to what Shai's at. Shai's at number 2 behind a guy that they don't even have a lot of film on. So we're not even sure. But he just passed that guy for second place. Obviously, he owns first place as well, talking about Wilt Chamberlain. But historic stuff's going on in OKC with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's getting pushed under the rug because everybody hates him. But we don't, and we're going to continue to talk about it every single episode or live that he does it. I got to go back here because this is starting to get to me.
Yeah, I'm looking at that comment. I'm like, where are you?
Episode 27. It's an actual source. Go check it out. I'm not lying to you. This comment is not right. It's not right.
I'm kind of confused where the disconnect is for Thunder fans.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
not lying.
No, I know. I'm just trying to say, like, we're using fact-based reporting to come up with the numbers. Like, we know what the numbers are. We know what the rules and regulations are. We've dug deep a year ago and already knew this. It's only being more so reported now because we're on this winning streak, so people are freaking out about it and whatnot. But the fact that we knew this a year ago, or even over the summer, that this was possible, I just think I've not heard anything about selling the team. I've not heard. There's full commitment to the Thunder fans, to the Thunder organization. The city just signed to re-up their deal and everything else. So it's just a very confusing comment right there. It's just false.
Yeah, that's a false comment. Don't believe that comment. And Mike here is also right. City just signed a new deal, and yes, they just have a new stadium coming as well. So I promise you that comment is completely false. Take that.
Also on top of that, our core is locked in until like 2030. So it just doesn't even make sense to sell a team when you're not paying that much in taxes. Like, I'd understand if we'd had repeater taxes and stuff. I'd start reporting it myself. Like, hey, maybe ownership's looking to sell off after paying a lot, but we're not in the Celtics shoes. We didn't have to pay anything. We haven't even had to pay anything over the last 10 years. Even the past 7 years, we've only netted profitability when it comes to Sam Presti. So super false statement there. We've only been saving, and this is going to be a perfect time to spend. And the only amount of spending we'll do is maybe for 2 to 3 years, and then we'll get more luxury tax. So yeah, we're good, guys. We're good.
Yeah, Nature Made. I think it might be a troll. I'm not sure, but we'll get him out of there. Anyway, back to tonight's game. I am very happy with our bench tonight. I feel like they've been kind of rocky, but now that they're fully healthy again, J. Will looked good. Aaron Wiggins is great. AJ Mitchell is great. We didn't have Caruso. Kenrich Williams looks back to his normal self. So when our starters start off like they did tonight, kind of rocky, the bench came in and really kept the course of the game and kept us in it. And that's the big thing about this OKC team is we rely on our bench when we're not playing well. And when they're all clicking, we have probably the best, if not a top 2 bench in the NBA, which I think is the best in the NBA. So it's going to take a lot to beat this OKC team in the regular season, I should say, Sapphire. I don't really see us losing more than, like, listen, we're going to lose games, guys. We're hurt. We're going to lose games, but I don't see us losing more than 10.
Yes. And I do want to get in my segment here. If you want to transition me in real quick, I think it's a good time to get into some spicy start bench cut real quick here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to answer this. Remix. They're all right. Anyway, it is time for Sappier's Quarter here. Sponsored by nobody yet, but it will be very soon. I'm not joking. Sapphire, let's get into some start bench cut. Everybody in the comments, follow along, play along with Sapphire tonight.
All right, this one I've got the spice level up every single time we've done this segment here. This time around, we're going to do it between our own squad, and I know this has been a huge topic of discussion on who should start, and I think it's getting bigger and bigger, so I might as well bring the 3 guys that are in question right now. Lou Dort, Kaysen Wallace, and AJ Mitchell. You already know where I was going with this. I know fans have their own opinions on this. You cannot go wrong with any of these guys. It's crazy that I haven't even mentioned in Alex Caruso into that or Aaron Wiggins, but I think those 3 guys are kind of neck and neck in terms of who should start with the full lineup. And fully healthy with Hartenstein, we can only really start one of them, if I'm not mistaken. So who would you start? Who would you bench? And the person getting cut is kind of just getting limited minutes.
Right. We're not actually cutting them.
Not actually cutting them. So where are you guys going? It looks like Sykes already got in on here. Start Kaysen, bench Dort, cut AJ, even though he loves him. I think that's a very fair analysis. As the comments pour in, Joe, let's hear your answer. No dilly-dallying, no jumping around.
No. I'm right here. I'm right here. And my start will not change until I'm proven otherwise. You're starting Lou Dort 10 times out of 10. He's a top 2 on-ball defender in the NBA. He's an NBA champion. He's a defensive player of the year candidate from last year. He's an all-defensive team guy. And he could shoot threes at a 40% clip like we saw last year. It's no questions asked. When you're playing the best teams in the league, Lou Dort is guarding the best player on the floor every single night. It's Lou Dort starting, and that's the only answer. It's the only answer.
Now I need
the bench is where it gets hard. Do you go Kaysen for more defense? Do you go AJ for more offense? Recently, not going to lie, I'm leaning towards benching AJ. I really am. I think he's a better offensive player. Well, I know he's a better offensive player. Kaysen's unbelievable on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe our best defender outside of Lou. I just know this team, for this specific team, OKC, we have plenty of defenders and not as many ball handlers and shot creators on the roster. So AJ's got to be benched, and we're limiting Kayson's role. We're not cutting him, but for the sake of the game, we're cutting him. I don't see Kayson starting for much longer, to be honest. Somebody's going to come and have to start. I think the shooting has been not great, and the offensive production hasn't been there either. We don't need two Lou Dorts on the court at the same time. That's something I always like to say. Unless we're playing a team with absolute beasts of guards and a small forward, which is obviously we've had to go against them in the past. I'd look for Aaron Wiggins, maybe even AJ. I don't think AJ will actually get a starting nod in real life right now. I think Aaron Wiggins might step into that role for a little while if Kayson's game continues to play like this. But to finish your question, start Dort, bench AJ, cut Queso.
Yeah, and I said this with the caveat with Hartenstein being healthy, so we're playing the double big. We got J-Dub at the 3, Shea at the 1, and so we're just trying to figure out that 2 spot. So that's where I was really going with it. I know, of course, anyone can kind of come into the lineup now. Yeah, I saw that. Where I want to go with this is I'm going to, of course, always take Lou Dort, our longest tenured Thunder player, best defender in the league, one-on-one. He can be the most versatile. He can go 1 through 5. He can really do it all when it comes to defense. And he's got ice in his veins as well. He's never shying away from the moment. He's always willing to take the threes. And you really can't find that level of player. It's really rare. I know people bag on Lou Dort, but he is our starting 2 guard. But where it gets hard, like you mentioned, man, is, yeah, I know, I saw that. Remix is going crazy in the comments. Where it gets really hard is the bench versus who we're going to limit, because I don't like to say the word cut because we get a lot of shade thrown at us. So I like the word limit there.
Right.
Who we're going to limit in terms of minutes versus bench. I'm going to stick it out with Cason Wallace. I still always believe in defense winning championships, and the amount of defense that Cason plays, it's also special, right? Like his skill set's really special. So anything positive that he gives on offense is always a plus. I just think between him and Lou Dort being so similar, and the fact that we're already choosing to, at least I'm choosing to, really start Lou Dort no matter what, right? So if I'm thinking about it that way, then I'm going to go with Cason Wallace, who's a carbon copy of Lou Dort for my bench, and then I'm going to limit AJ because we have the best offensive engine in modern NBA history with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, if you need 40 points, 50 points, whatever you need at the end of the game, all I need to put is 4 defensive-minded players. And Joe, I'm going to give you a 2K analogy on something that me and my homies used to do. We'd build a bunch of dogs. Like, we'd have 4 guys that are 6'7", all defensive wings, and then our primary guy would be like the best ball handler, shot creator, aka Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and we'd win a bunch of 2K games that way. So it feels like Sam Presti's practically playing 2K with this type of lineup, having a bunch of defenders around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and considering that works, and that's what the strategy has been season over season, and we're winning so many games, I'm going to stick it out with that strategy. It's proven to win. I think it's amazing. So I know I butchered it a little bit. I haven't played 2K in so long, so I can't even think of what type that is of player.
2K's kind of trash now, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, 2K's kind of fallen off. But you guys know what I'm getting at. 4 amazing defenders, 1 offensive engine. That's all you need in this type of NBA, and that's what we've got. So I'm rocking with that. And if we can replicate that with J-Dub being the secondary guy, playing some of the bench role with 4 extra defenders around him, that's pretty much tit for tat, in my opinion. And then AJ just cherry on top with the extra 20 plus points.
Right,
so.
Absolutely. It's literally last year, just add 6 man of the year to it. So it's fantastic. I want to get to our comment from one of our members here, Mike B. Really quick, we prioritize most of the member comments. That's what you get with our members subscriptions on our YouTube channel. If you guys want to go check out our premium subs there, has a whole lot of perks. You can come join us on the live. You could join us recording our members only videos, and you get top priority here. So go check out those on the channel. But to answer Mike here, we don't know. because Isaiah's getting reevaluated in 10 to 14 days. But that doesn't mean he's coming back in 10 to 14 days. And the way it's been going this season, who's to say that everybody's healthy by then? So we don't necessarily know. The best answer I could give you is I think Isaiah's going to be out at least 3 weeks. So you have a little bit of time there. But trust me, Mike, I can't wait either. I've been waiting all damn season long, and we still can't get there. But, honestly, it was the same case last year. We were injured all last year, too, and then we saw it and won an NBA championship. So I'm okay with waiting if it comes with an NBA championship as well.
Yeah.
And this comment right here I liked as well. Like, this is why I'm in that start bench cut. AJ's got to stay. AJ's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And yes, Mike, absolutely agree.
Yeah. AJ is definitely entering, he may not start games or anything, but he can definitely finish games. That's kind of where I'm alluding to with him. I think he's a guy that is kind of getting indisposable when it comes to the fourth quarters. I do want to mention Isaiah Joe in that first quarter, hitting a bunch of threes to start out the game. And then also, along with that, I totally forgot, and I looked through the game notes that I had. Chet Holmgren picked up his fourth foul pretty early on in the game. So that also limited his defensive role. We needed him out on the court more so than going for shot blocks. So that's probably why he was a step late, kind of on purpose. So that way he doesn't pick up his fifth, sixth foul, and then he'd be out of there pretty early. So I totally forgot that point. And I think that makes a lot more sense why he only ended up with 3 blocks and not 6 or 8 that he's more capable of doing.
Right.
So pretty easy there. Also, Jalen Williams tonight, 3 blocks pretty early. And from there, Shea pretty much closed it out. And I felt like it was a pretty easy night. Also, J-Dub had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 9 rebounds by Chet. I thought that was huge. And everyone kind of got into the block or steal category around most of our starters and bench players. 3 for 6 from Isaiah Joe. That's what I'm saying. The guard depth that we have is just like, honestly, you can't go wrong with whoever you play or whoever you start or whoever you bench, because they're all getting 25 to 30 minutes. And no matter which way you slice it and dice it, like, they're all getting their minutes, they're all getting their playing time, and no one's really complaining. Like, if there's a guy that's getting 10 minutes a game and winning 77 games on the season, I don't think there's going to be a single complaint by any of the guys that, oh, I didn't get my role or whatever. And if there is a complaint, we'll see you on the Washington Wizards, buddy. Like, good luck.
Absolutely. Sykes, have a good night, brother. We'll see you on Tuesday night for our recap against the Golden State Warriors. That's another one of our members. Unk, I've been waiting for Unk. I haven't seen him. I was getting a little lonely over here. He said Philly lost. That's also great news for us. Indeed, Unk, welcome to the stream, brother. I want to bring it back full circle here before we kind of wrap things up, Sapphire. And I kind of want to play Portland round 1 of the playoffs. I despise this team now. Never had anything against them until now. This Blazers team I'm talking about. Royce Young, good source. Denny Advia against OKC in 3 games this year. 68 points total. 36 from the fucking free throw line. Excuse my language, everybody out there. 36 points total. 68 points total, sorry. 36 from the free throw line. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it really got to me tonight. That's over 53% of his damn points. I can't do it. I missed Unk's comment before. Oh, I put it on the screen. I did put it on the screen. Yes, I'm sorry, Unk. I'm sorry. Sapphire.
He picked up the 2 fouls that Chet didn't that he didn't need to. Right here, Chet had 5 fouls with 8 minutes left and still played elite defense, not fouling out till very late in the game. I think that was really key for us winning this game. And like I was mentioning, just proud of Chet regardless. Like, he's still as high as you can get in terms of advanced stats. And we covered him in a members only video in terms of where he's really ranked, and he's going to win DPOY. So for anyone mentioning anything about Chet's defense, I'd probably rethink the statement. And even if there's like a game or two where he's down with Hartenstein out right now, I think overall, like, he is, he's just someone that you can't, miss, and he's amazing for us. So
absolutely. Thunder up, Unk. Hell yeah. All right. Last thing before we hop off here, Sap, here. Let's talk about J-Dub down the stretch. Getting to the lane easily down the stretch. Had some great, he's just such a good playmaker, but he had some great moves to get to the rim in the late fourth quarter. And it's something we saw a lot during the finals. And I think he's getting back to his form. The shooting will come along. But his confidence was there. This guy's unbelievable. Sapir, tell us about J-Dub and tell me why he's a top 10 player in the NBA when he's fully healthy.
Yeah, he's definitely top 10 to 15. And he's just he's pretty much becoming a 6'8" carbon copy of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I feel like we had that comment about Shai pretty much being 6'6" CP3. And now I'm thinking J-Dub is pretty much, 6'7" SGA. That's just a little bit younger than he is, catching up to the level of scoring that he is. And he gets to watch from one of the greatest guards to have ever played on an NBA court. So I only expect J-Dub to, improve past that, right? Like if you're learning under someone, same thing as SGA, right? You learn under a guy like Chris Paul, you become better than Chris Paul.
Right.
You're J-Dub, you learn under SGA on a nightly basis, you become better than that player, right? And he's already got the defensive skill set that's better than Shai naturally. And so I can't wait to see him 5 years down the line when he's in his own MVP conversations and he's becoming an all NBA first team player on a consistent nightly basis. And I feel like J-Dub, I haven't mentioned this, but I think J-Dub has the biggest capability to win 6 or more rings in his career, because I think he can do them alongside SGA, but even past SGA, I think he could be the guy that takes over for our team and wins even more rings alongside him and Chet as a dynamic duo moving forward. So
because of the youth.
We'll have SGA, he'll retire with us, of course, and win a bunch of rings. But I think every ring that's won alongside SGA with J-Dub, I think J-Dub can win, a couple on his own, even past that for this team and create that longevity that we're looking for. He's that level of a player. He's an MVP caliber player. And for a guy like, I'm blanking on the streamer that was pretty much bagging on J-Dub. It's just crazy to me that you can't see the talent that's right in front of you, right? Like if there's anyone thinking J-Dub's not this level of a talent, like you're really behind. And it's good time to, hop on the bandwagon, because we're going to be telling you, I told you so here in a couple of years when he's number one in the MVP races. So
right. I agree. I absolutely agree. And I'm already telling them I told you so because he's already a champion and dropped 40 in the finals.
Exactly.
With that being said, kind of want to wrap up here. We appreciate everybody who's tuning into these streams consistently, liking the videos. If you are enjoying the content, like the videos, subscribe to the channel, join the memberships. They are awesome. Go check them out. I promise we put out the best content we possibly can for you guys and the most content at that point. Wrapping up, from Brandon Rabar on Twitter, a great source. In the 2 games in Portland, free throw attempts, SGA 25, Denny Advia 39. Everybody have a great night. We love you all.
I got one more. I got one more, Joe. I got one more for us before we end out here. This is by Nick Gallo. I have to mention this. He just posted this. The 2025-26 Oklahoma City Thunder are just the 4th team in NBA history to start a season 20-1 or better. The other 3 teams were the 15-16 Warriors, the 93-94 Rockets, and the 69-70 Knicks. So we're entering only, a category of 4 teams that have started a season this good. So have a great night on that. And Joe, take us out of here, man.
Yes. Couple things. 1, 20-1. 2, that's the most bullshit officiating I've ever seen. And 3, Thunder up, baby. Let's go.